What's up, YouTube family? Just wanted to give everyone a big shout out. Thank you for the positive feedback I've been getting over the last few months in the comments. Also, I wanted to let you know a little bit more about the man behind the camera. First of all, today's March 24th. It's my birthday. 54 years ago, I was born right here in Los Angeles. Yes, I know I don't look it. Feel good. Still keeping the guns up. Working out on my bike. However, I am 54 years old now. I don't feel it. I was born 54 years ago, right here in LA. More specifically, I was born in South Central LA. I spent most of my young days in South Central LA. I went to school there. Shout out to 75th Street Elementary, right in the heart of South Central LA. After elementary school, we sort of bounced around LA. I lived in the Mid-Wilshire district. I lived in West LA for a large part of my life. After moving out of my parents' home, I've been living here in Santa Monica for 30 years. Moved here in 1992, actually. So almost 30 years. I'm about 2 miles from the Pier. When I graduated from high school in 85, class of 85, Fairfax High, I got a job at Vaughn's grocery stores over in Palisades. We call it the Baywatch store. It's on, people who live in LA know it's on Sunset and PCH right there on the beach. We call it the Baywatch store because they used to film Baywatch right across the street from the store. And so I had the opportunity to see Pamela Anderson and all the stars from Baywatch coming in and out of the store quite often. I started there in 85. In about 87, we started a little biking group from the store that we called the Baywatch Posse. And what we did is we would ride from Baywatch, which is the Vons on Sunset and PCH. We would ride from Baywatch to Venice Beach and sometimes to Redondo Beach. Redondo Beach was about 17, 18 miles. Venice Beach is approximately 6 miles from the store. So we used to do that in 1987. We used to ride back and forth from Baywatch to Venice Beach quite often. We did that for several years. In 1992, I graduated from college. I graduated from the Cal State University, Los Angeles, of course. I graduated with a double degree in economics and sociology. Upon my graduation from Cal State, Los Angeles, I got a job over in Japan teaching English with the English school over there. My Japanese is not all that good, but back in 92, you really didn't need to speak Japanese to teach conversational English. I've always loved Japanese culture. I love Japanese cinema. I love Tokyo. I like being in crowds. I was under a 6-month contract to teach English over there. After my contract was up, they wanted to renew my contract for 2 years, but I really missed LA when I was over there. I miss the weather because in Japan is sort of cold. It's sort of like New York. It gets cold, it gets hot and humid. At least in Tokyo it does. And when I came back after 6 months, the school contacted me. A lot of the students over there really missed me. The school really missed me. So they offered me a job here working for the school as like a tour guide. Almost every weekend I was giving tours to Venice Beach, Hollywood, Santa Monica, Universal Studios, a few in Disneyland. But the number one place that the Japanese tourists wanted to go was Venice Beach. So I was always on Venice Beach. During the 90s, I was always with Japanese tourists on Venice Beach, Santa Monica, Hollywood. I spent time down in Panama. I spent time down in Brazil. I spent most of my time in Colombia. And that's where I met my wife, of course, in Colombia. I can tell you from traveling around South America, it's not really that important, but I can tell you, people always ask me, the most beautiful women in South America are in Colombia. Hands down. I can tell you that from a man who's been traveling down there for numerous years. I can tell you the most beautiful women are in Colombia, period. My wife and I, we ride our bikes from Santa Monica to Venice, and that's been since 2008, 2009, when my wife first got here. We ride our bikes to Santa Monica and Venice, so it ain't no new thing for us. I've been riding Santa Monica and Venice since the 80s, since 1987 with the Baywatch Posse. That's what we called ourselves, the Baywatch Posse. Started off with like 4 of us, ended up being about 25 of us, and we used to ride every week, and we used to ride hard. That's when I was younger, and I used to ride all the time. But you know, I'm 54 today. I know I don't look it. Dang sure don't feel it. That's from riding all the time. I always stay active, always stay fit. Yeah, about 6 months ago, I got a call from a friend of mine who used to be one of the members of the Baywatch Posse. He used to ride with us years ago. So he called me up and he was telling me how he really missed the weather out here in LA. And most of all, he really missed riding with the guys, and he missed Venice Beach. I came back from Colombia. So I didn't ride for the 3 months that I was in Colombia. I was eating like crazy in Colombia. All I did was eat. Then we came back here and the pandemic broke out. I didn't work out. The gyms were closed. I didn't go out on my bike. So it had been about a year when he called me that I had been out on the bike, which is strange for me. And the worst part was that I'm 6'4". My weight ballooned up. And I know some people are going to say, oh, ballooned up. My weight ballooned up to 198, almost 200 pounds. I've never been more than 200 pounds. I've never been 198. Even though I'm 6'4", and that's not obese, I've always had a slim build. I've always biked. I've always been sort of athletic. I've always had a slim build. So I've never been more than 185. At the most I've ever weighed in my life was 185. After my friend had called me, and I hadn't been biking for a year. I haven't been to Venice in about a year. When I weighed myself, I was 198. For me, that's heavy. And I really didn't feel good. I'm not used to being 198, even though I'm 6'4", and it's okay. He told me about a YouTube channel he watches called When Walk Travel. They had done like walking tours from Venice to Santa Monica. So I checked them out and I told them, hey, you know what? I'm going to ride down there. I'm not going to walk. So I went and I posted it up to YouTube, and boom, that video went viral for me. It got 9,000 views. And I know 9,000 views isn't a lot for some people, you know. But for me, a guy who's used to getting maybe 100 or 200 views on a video, 9,000 views is a lot, especially for a personal video that I put up just so our group can share. Some of my relatives, my aunt used to skate down there in Venice. She was like, oh, I love your video. You have to go to the skate park. After that is when I start posting more and more videos on Santa Monica to Venice. But that's not when I started going to Santa Monica and Venice. I've been grinding Santa Monica and Venice since the 1980s, even farther back. My dad used to play basketball. When we were kids in the 70s, my dad used to play basketball at Venice Beach. Me and my brother would ride around on our bikes. Most of the time, I didn't ride around. I would just sit there and watch people. I was a born people watcher, my daddy used to say. I would sit on the fence and just watch people walk by. I've always been fascinated by watching people, just sitting there on the fence watching people. So I've been in Venice since 74. I've been riding Santa Monica to Venice since the 1980s with the Baywatch Posse, you know. So I ain't new to this game. Santa Monica Venice is me. I spent the whole 90s giving tours every week up and down Venice Beach, Santa Monica, Hollywood. I took tourists on a night tour to Skid Row. No one was doing that. A night tour to Skid Row in the 90s. And believe me, you look at Skid Row now and you say, oh, Skid Row's bad. It was the same or worse in the 1990s. People have this like nostalgic look back, like Skid Row was better in the 90s. No, it was not. And then after we would go to Skid Row, depending on how late it was, we would go to Top of the Fifth, which is a restaurant in the Bonaventure with the circular floor. Beautiful. I had some of the best times down there. Or if it was too late, we would go to Denny's over there off Vermont. Let me sidetrack for a minute before I forget and tell you guys a story. You know, I used to work at Vaughn's. One of the people that used to shop there is Harry Perry. Him and his 2 kids. He had 2 kids at the time. They were young, maybe like 5 and 6. Looked just like him. with the turbans and everything come in the store. And every time Harry Perry would come in the store and he's buying food for his family, and I would talk to him, every time I would say something to him, he would say, "Want to buy my CD?" He always had something to sell me. The guy always had something to sell. I used to take Japanese tourists down there in the 90s, and he was real cool. He would always take pictures with them, but he would always try to sell stuff. And this CD here, I have it here because in 2012, I had a collection of over 1,000 CDs. All right, I used to belong to a CD club, so I had box sets of Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Commodores. I had a lot of box sets. But in the early 2000s, I got an iPod, and all my musical collection was on the iPod. So I didn't need this whole wall of CDs I had. So I decided I would give away, I had over 1,000 CDs. I just donated them to Salvation Army. So me and a buddy of mine packed up all my CDs, took them to Salvation Army, and left them there. And the people at Salvation Army was going crazy. They were running through the CDs because when I came in, they could see I had box sets of stuff on there that I'm not going to listen to anymore. When I came back in the house, this CD somehow had fell out of the cart, and it was the only CD in the house laying on the floor. And it freaked me out because whenever I would talk to Harry Perry, he would tell me about space aliens and cosmic spiritual beings and all this far out stuff. And when I came home, after I was sure I had every CD in the house, when I came home and I opened that door and saw this CD on the floor, it freaked me out. I'm getting chill bumps now just talking about it. Put that CD down. But so I kept it. I kept that CD, and I've never even listened to that one. I listened to other ones that he has sold me, and let's move on. But so what I'm getting at, yeah. So I'm not really new to the game of going to Venice. I've been grinding in Venice for 35 years. Many of you did not know that. Some of you thought, oh, he just started going to Venice in December when I start posting videos. No, that's when I start posting videos. I've been going to Venice since the 80s. Actually, since the 70s with my dad, but as an adult, since the 80s. So don't get it twisted, buddy. I gave you a pretty much brief summary of my history, just so you guys can get an opportunity to know the man behind the camera a little bit, because now I want to address more juicy stuff about my channel. Now, I know my channel is not for 99% of the people out there. My channel is boring to 99% of the people out there. It was never made with a general audience in mind. My channel was made for a specific group of people, and my channel will be successful no matter what. Why? Not because of the subscriber count, although they are increasing, but it won't be successful because of the subscribers. It won't be successful because of the views on my channel. My channel will be successful because it makes me happy. That is the number one determination of success in anything you do in life. It's not how much money you earn. It's not what type of job you have. It's if you have the ability to find joy and happiness in whatever it is you do. That, my friend, is what success is all about. How many successful people do you know that you can look at that have everything you ever wanted in the world, unlimited amounts of money, and they're not happy? They end up committing suicide, suffering from major depression, and you can name them in the comments. See, that's because they lack that one ingredient of success, and it is the main ingredient, and that is happiness. My channel would be successful if I have 1 subscriber, or 1,000 subscribers, or 1,000,000 subscribers. because it brings me happiness. I got on that bike. I start biking. I was like, I don't want to do this. Oh, I'm getting older. I'm tired of biking. I got on that bike. Smell the wind. Got my groove going. I was back in the saddle again, moving. Man, you can't describe how vivacious that felt, how much energy that gave me, how therapeutic that was. You can't describe it. So I really, and I don't say this to be mean, but I could really care less on how many subscribers I have, how many views I get on my channel, how many people hate on my channel. And speaking of haters, I've read some of your comments, and I know who the haters are at Venice Beach. I know already. I just don't pay attention to the haters. You know, put it this way. I'm a man, 54 years old, great shape, been riding his bike from Santa Monica to Venice since the 80s. What I do now? I ride my bike from Santa Monica to Venice. And you got people that hate you, don't even know you. Why? He rides his bike to Santa Monica to Venice, and he puts it on YouTube. It's almost comical, you know. You have people who hate you just for riding your bike from Santa Monica to Venice, but that's life. I'm going to tell you what I can't remember the Japanese word for it, but I'm going to tell you what I used to tell my students in Japan. People are always going to criticize you unless you do these three things. 1, say nothing. 2, do nothing. And 3, be nothing. If you don't want to be criticized, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. And then you're still going to get criticized because people say, why you ain't doing nothing? So you might as well do something anyway. So I don't even pay attention to the haters. I'm doing this because it makes me feel happy. Like I said, I've been in the game since 1987, riding my bike from Santa Monica to Venice. If that makes someone unhappy, makes someone a hater, that's their psychological problem. There's a whole bunch of sociological processes that go with hating. You know, I forget the definition. We used to talk about hating in class. But generally, people that hate, they hate because they have a perception that you are a threat to them somehow. I guess riding my bike from Santa Monica to Venice threatens somebody. That's the main ingredient for hate. Threat. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. Sorry about that. My camera ran out of batteries and just died on me, so I have to use my iPad right now. I'm going to wrap this up before my iPad runs out of batteries. But anyway, I wanted to touch on a few more things before I go tonight. At this stage of my life, I just like to be happy. And talking a lot has never been something that has made me happy. I listen a lot. That's what has made me happy. When I was in Japan, they have a saying that reference to that. And the saying goes, Kuchi wa wazu wa no moto. And the literal translation of that is, your mouth is a source of disaster. I try to avoid disaster and I try to listen. So for the people that listen to my channel and say that I should talk a lot, maybe this channel is not for you. I don't like talking a lot. And this is probably the most talking I'm going to do. I love natural sounds. Sometimes I just go down to the pier on the boardwalk and I sit down and just listen to people walk by. And I'm just a different type of person. I love being in crowds, people watching, and I love listening. Sorry, I got a spider crawling up on my tripod here. But I just love listening. I'm not big on talking a lot. And I see people leaving the comments all the time. And that's, Venice is a shithole. LA's a shithole. Santa Monica's a shithole. You know, Venice, I love LA. I'm born and raised in LA. 54 years in LA. I love LA. I can live any place in the world. This is where I choose to live, LA. I mean, I love LA. I love Tokyo. I like New York. I love Colombia, Cartagena, Medellin. You know, I couldn't stay in Montana. I couldn't stay in Wyoming. I couldn't stay in Idaho. I couldn't stay in Utah. I couldn't stay in Arizona. It goes on and on and on. You get what I'm talking about? That's just for me, you know. But I don't go to the Montana channel and say, Montana is a shithole. Thumbs down. It serves no purpose, you know. Everybody's different. If you don't like Venice, don't go there. Venice is one of the #1 world attractions worldwide. People want to visit Venice Beach. You don't like Santa Monica? Don't go there. Santa Monica is one of the #1 worldwide attractions that people want to visit. When I lived in Japan, the #1 place people wanted to visit, at least the #1 junior college, Santa Monica College. Santa Monica College is the #1 junior college amongst Japanese people entering college. It's the #1 desired junior college. People around the world want to visit Santa Monica. They want to visit Venice. They want to visit LA. You know, this is my city. I love it. Now, if Venice is a shithole, Santa Monica is a shithole, LA is a shithole, go to Montana, Idaho, and be cool, because whatever floats your boat, to each his own. Everything ain't for everybody. Venice ain't for everybody. I'm cool with that. It don't hurt my feelings. You don't have to put Venice as a shithole every time I make a video. Thumbs down. If you want to give a thumbs down, because psychologically you just like pressing on the thumb, do it twice. Just hit the thumbs down twice. Be twice as nice. So, you know, I don't say that stuff to be rude. I say that stuff because my channel is a success. It's a success not because of subscribers, not because of thumbs up, not because of the views, but because it makes me happy. And that's the #1 determination of success. And I want you to be successful too. How are you going to be successful? You go to wherever makes you happy and live. And be a happy, successful, peaceful person at peace, like I am. But don't come trying to disturb my peace by saying how bad Venice is. I know it has homeless people. Every place is not perfect. You know, it's like you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater type syndrome. That's Venice, Santa Monica, and LA. I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Venice is my baby. LA's my baby. So what? They get a little dirty. You just deal with it. So I'm back on my bike, back on my grind, back on my routine, and I love it. I'm feeling good. I don't take any medicines. I'm 54. I don't take any medicines, you know, yet, thank God. I don't have any health problems. I'm in good health. I feel just as good as I did when I was 53. No, 23. You know, feeling great. You know, I'm on my bike every day. Life is great, man. I'm telling you, my channel is a success, and not because of views. And I know I say this all the time, not because of the views on my videos, not because of the subscribers I get, but because it makes me happy. It puts a smile on my face. And that's the #1 determination of a person's success in life, is if what they do make them happy, you're a success. Period. I want to thank all the positive feedback I've been getting on this channel. Thank you to all the people who watch the videos. Thank you for all the people who ride with me, all the people who grind with me from Santa Monica to Venice on a daily, a weekly, or whenever you can basis. It's cool. I'm happy. And in some small way, I know that happiness that I have is being shared with other people. That even makes you more happy. And I really appreciate you guys. So I'm just going to take the time out to say thank you to everybody for watching the channel. Whenever you get a chance to watch the channel, you know, daily, weekly, even monthly, I'm going to be grinding on the day. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. And don't forget to leave a happy birthday down in the comments for me, because it is my birthday. Because it's not quite 12 yet. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on the grind. Take care. Thank you. Bye. Peace.
Give me a little bit. Come on. Come on, come on. Give me some fun. Here we go, y'all. I was about to make somebody now happy, and I think she told me her name was Kathy. Well, I hit it right. Did I hit it exactly? Okay, now let me turn the key, and when I get through, ooh-wee, it'll be like going to a movie, Miss Kathy. Take this out, and this is not my pedigree. I got the beat genuine for your Kathy. I like to take your line and make it phonetically. Rhyme with your name, lovely Kathy. So when you walk away, kind of smoothly, you gotta remember the rhythm, Kathy. Check this out, that you got straight from me. You with the hat in the head, screaming out, Kathy. What's your name? So nice to meet you. What's your name? And now the main feature. What's your name? You use the lovely creature. And let me break it down. Nice to meet you.
No lo noto,
And you in the white? Lisa too. I got something I do for you. My name is Dr. Geek and ain't no yabba dabba do.
Co to jest?